The Dayton City Commission meeting will now come to order. Please rise for the invocation this morning given by Commissioner Turner-Sloss and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay.
Would you all please join me and bow your heads? Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you with bowed heads and humble hearts. We thank you for this day. We thank you for your mercy and your grace. We ask that you lead us and guide us to do your will for your people. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So, Ms. Blackshear, may I have the roll call, please?
Mayor Mims.
Aye.
Commissioner Shaw.
Aye.
Fairchild.
Aye.
Turner-Sloss.
Aye.
Okay. And may I have a motion then to excuse Commissioner Joseph from this morning's meeting?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second, Your Honor.
Okay, it's been probably moved and seconded to excuse Commissioner Joseph from this morning's meeting. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Okay. Have a motion then to approve the minutes from the June 18th meeting.
So moved, Your Honor.
Second.
Okay, the second coming a little slow this morning, folks. Okay. All right. So it's been probably moved and seconded to approve the minutes from the June 18th meeting. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Okay. Communications and petitions, Ms. Blackshear.
There are none, Your Honor.
Okay, then I'd like to have Mr. Steve Gondel come to the podium to have a monthly demolition update. I know we all anticipate that.
Good morning, Mayor, Commissioners.
Good morning, sir.
Clerk. Steve Gondel, Director for the Department of Planning, Neighborhoods, and Development, with your May 2025 demolition activity update. All right, so just to start off, so with our May numbers, I want to note a few things. We had 36 demolitions in the month. 33 of those were Ohio Department of Development funded demolitions. 3 were ARPA. Cumulative for all of 2025 is 100 total demolitions at this point. Again, the bulk of those being ODOD. I have a slight revision from last month. There was a typo. I think last month, if you look back, I had 39 demolitions under ARPA. That was incorrect. It's actually 34. For ARPA. But what I want to point out, though, is that out of less than halfway through the year, we're already at 48% of the demolitions at all of 2024, and we're just 41% of the way through 2025. So our pace is where it needs to be with meeting our goals and deadlines. And I also want to point out that we, as you know, we were given a really phenomenal award from the Ohio Department of Development, ODOD, in November to work with the land bank for about 150 demolitions, 104 of which were in the city and the rest were in the county, and we facilitate those demolitions per our contract with the land bank. They do pay us to facilitate those demolitions. With the unexpected deadline of June, our staff, I'm pleased to report, has met that. They have completed all the demolitions of this week. They are now processing that paperwork, which is required this week. But I don't know if the state was expecting us to meet that, but they stood up, they looked at how we did it, they made some tweaks so that we can meet that, and I'm really, really proud of them because, as you know, it took both city staff, land bank staff, and our demolition vendors to help achieve that goal of 150 demolitions in that short amount of time. So really pleased with them. Again, they're processing the paperwork these next few days so that we can get those invoices into the state and show that we met that date and hopefully be eligible for any funds from other land banks that were not expended. So we're really excited about that.
You know, one of the concerns that we had initially with having, looking at turning down 1,100 vacant and nuisance properties was the aspect to find enough contractors to be able to do that work. And clearly, obviously, you guys have been able to meet that and exceed that. So again, kudos to you on a continuous basis for the work that you're doing.
It's a great partnership, and they're always looking at ways, to reach those goals. Some good news. So for our fire piles, we had one removed in May, but we had none added. I don't know that I've ever been up here. I've had a zero there. I can tell you that I checked that number probably every day to last, because I just kept thinking that can't be. But we did not have any in the month of May, so we're at 68 piles. So that will mean that there will be no fire pile map this month because, or emergency demo map, because we did not have any in May. So here's the activity. Again, this round of OD really was focused on that far western edge of the city, Greenwich Village, Residence Park, and our partner colleagues, partner jurisdictions just west of the city. So I want to note, if anybody owes anybody in Trotwood any favors, or if they, we did 34 demolitions in Trotwood during that span under the ODOD contract. So, and again, that's part of our service contract with the land bank. But I know that those made a huge improvement on that community, and it does help us, whenever we're strong and our neighbors are strong. So 34 demolitions in Trotwood through this ODOD contract that we helped oversee. This is our map for the year. So again, we have pretty good coverage. Neighborhoods throughout the city are seeing activity. With the ODOD demolitions kind of wrapping up, we will return back to our ARPA and some of our more routine work. So we'll be back into Southern Dayton View, the North Main corridor neighborhoods, as we had scheduled with this ARPA round 2. Properties added to our structural nuisance list. In May, we had 16. I want to note 11 of those 16 properties were related to the apartment complex on Riverside. They had sustained another fire. There were some just more issues with trespassing and vandalism. And so we have now put every one of the remaining structures on that property, and that's up Riverside Ridge area. So 11 of those 16 are that one complex, and we've been in court with them to pursue remediation of the problems there with the owner of the property. So that's why that number is a little bit spiked, because we counted all of those individual buildings. Our pipeline, so again, we have most of our properties through the title phase. We had 29 asbestos surveys completed in May and 10 remediations done. So again, this kind of feeds the next month's work by completing this stepped work here. So we have a steady pace of properties ready for the next round of demolitions. My before and afters, so we have 1019, 1021 Redfern, that's in the Five Oaks neighborhood, and 1257 Everett in the Southern Dayton View neighborhood, before and afters there. And then this is fitting because, again, most of our time has been spent on the far western edge of the city. So the following properties are all on Genesee: 4306, 4309, 4318, and 4909. So, again, considerable work done in Greenwich Village and Residence Park the last few months. So on that note, I will take any questions you might have.
Okay. Good. So I'm sure we have a question or two. Commissioner Turner-Sloss, questions, comments?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Dongo. Thank you for your presentation this morning. I really appreciate it, and congratulations for meeting that deadline. Please extend our appreciation and congrats to the entire the entire team. I see Mr. James is here, so congratulations, sir, for all of the work that you're doing. Appreciate your leadership. Just a couple questions. In terms of us finalizing and sending over the invoices for final payment, whatever have you, for ODOD, when do you expect the timeline? Or I know that you had mentioned, and you did, in fact, answer my question prior to me even posing the question. When do you expect for us to really start hitting the ground running in terms of picking up our ARPA demolition and CDBG demolition? Because from my understanding, the contract, we've already awarded the contract. It's just a matter of now shifting, if you will, the demolition companies to those various sites for ARPA and CDBG.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is meeting with staff probably next week. We're going to give them the remaining month of June to process all of the paperwork invoices to the county or to the land bank so that they can get that ready. And then we're going to look at, okay, what does now our kind of return to normal scheduling look like in terms of getting back to our general funded and ARPA demolition schedule. So I'll probably know more about that, and that's something I could probably provide the city manager to update you all when after they complete the paperwork for the land bank and get a kind of what's on tap for the next few weeks, but probably month of July. I'll give you an idea of where we're going to be returning back to.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
you for making that recommendation in terms of follow-up memo to the city manager to share with the commission office. And thank you for highlighting the partnership with the land bank in regards to the 34 demolitions that were completed in the city of Trotwood. So again, I just wanted to acknowledge it and appreciate you for making mention of our partnership that we're doing across the various municipalities, our neighboring municipalities. And only thing I wanted to note is that there has been some concerns with 1663 Kensington in terms of a number of illicit behavior that has been taking place in the garage. I believe that the structure is open, and so there's been some stolen vehicles and some nuisance activity that has been taking place at that site.
All right, my team will look into that.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And thank
And that
you
was
for-
6063 Kensington?
Yes.
Okay, thank
And
you.
thank you for making mention last night during the mayor's conversation of the 54 demolitions that will take place in Hillview neighborhood. So kudos to you and your staff.
Yeah, up in that Hillview, Santa Clara, North Main area. Yeah, it's good stuff. Thank you.
Great stuff. Commissioner Fairchild.
Yeah, congratulations on making that ODOD deadline, which was really unrealistic. So your team clearly went above and beyond. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sometimes when the state puts funding out and other municipalities do not reach their goals, that funding comes available for those who did. Do we think that that might be an opportunity for us?
We are already prepared. We are putting together another list of properties just in case that is an opportunity. So staff has already started, which is why I'm giving a little bit of a break to wrap up this and to help compile that list just in case they request another round of properties. So we want to be ready for that.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate your preparedness on that and being able to take advantage of that opportunity if it comes along. I was curious, could you go back to the map? Are the green areas ARPA-funded areas,
Yes.
and then the brown areas are?
Those were the neighborhoods that we identified solely for our CDBG demos.
Okay.
So Westwood and, for the most part, Westwood and Burkhart with Springfield and, I'm blanking, just south of Westwood. Arlington. Those were, we made a decision to put our CDBG ones in those neighborhoods solely. So, and like I said, I want to point out again, while we recognize that we do work outside of our jurisdiction, and we might show that on the map, I do not count those demolitions in our numbers. So
Thank you.
I meant to clarify that, that we showed as a representation of where the work's happening, but in the table as city-only demolition. So, so those 34 in Trotwood do not come off our numbers. That's
Right.
The numbers I present to you are just those properties in the city.
I was thinking one of our neighborhoods was Five Oaks, but it looks like in North Central that almost includes the whole Frock area. Is that accurate?
So we have, there's obviously the focus neighborhoods, and then there's ARPA eligible. So with ARPA and the Dayton Recovery Plan, when we met our targets for all of the Dayton Recovery Plan in the focus neighborhoods, the other neighborhoods were then eligible to receive ARPA funding activities as long as we had met our goals in the focus ones first. So,
Okay.
So that's why you'll see beyond Five Oaks, you have most of the Frock area in there.
Okay, thank you. That's helpful. And then I was just doing the math. It looks like we'll get to about what's the target for this year? Is it 200 or is it more?
No. So this year, I'm trying to think back where I thought where my crystal ball might projected our, and again, I think when we started the year, we did not expect the state to
Right.
move the deadline up. So we probably need to revisit this has accelerated our pace in one form. So we probably have to look back to see where we think we're going to be on pacing for the end of the year in total amounts, knowing that we have also through 2026 to complete with the ARPA funding.
Yeah, but I was just looking, it looks like we're going to have to do 500 or more in next year, and I'm curious
Well,
how realistic that is.
No, so one of the things that we're working on is that the Dayton Recovery Plan, really, it was a 21 to 26 timeframe, so going back and actually putting 22 and 21, those demolitions back on there. So when we started the original, so this is just of the last, I think when we started these presentations, but there's some additional work that we're going to have to do in terms of going back to the demolitions that were in 21 that were identified kind of under the broader plan.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Commissioner Shaw.
I'm pretty good. A lot of good information here, a lot of good news.
go.
Appreciate the update. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yep. All I can say is keep on keeping on. Great work. Really appreciate you and your staff.
We will. Thank you very much for your support.
Thanks. Okay. Now, calendar items, Mr. Blackshear. Have any additions, deletions, or comments?
I have none, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Parlett, any deletions, additions, or comments to the calendar?
Your Honor, I have no additions or deletions, and really only one comment relative to two separate calendar items that are related. A1A1 is the purchase of a Level 3 electric vehicle charger,
Okay.
and then A3 is the installation of that charger. That would be placed at Ottawa Yard.
Okay.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
That's all we have. So do we have any citizens who are registered to speak on calendar items?
None on calendar
None?
items, Your Honor.
Okay. Commissioners, comments on calendar items. Commissioner Turner-Sloss.
No, I don't have any. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Commissioner Fairchild.
Well, in the absence of Commissioner Joseph, I would say thank you for the EV charger and the work to continue our work on sustainability. And I did have a question about number 2. This extends the contract with Dr. Burrs. I believe the contract started in 2020.
Correct.
So this is now 7 years that she's been doing consulting, coaching with the water department. What's the issue at the water department?
7 years, 2020.
We're extending the contract to 2027.
Okay. And your question was?
What is the issue? What are we trying to solve at the water department with 7 years of coaching?
So what I will say is that Dr. Burrs, over her time with the water department, has done some really exemplary work in terms of really breaking down silos that existed between divisions within the department. One demonstration I can attest to is and you may recall over the last several years, receiving no interest, low interest grants effectively to the tune of $40 to $50 million. That is really a testament to the cohesion within the water department that's been created in Dr. Burr's work in coaching and team building has really proven results in that success. So we fully support the water department's belief that Dr. Burrs has that value in their work. So they're bringing this recommendation for the extension of the contract, and we fully support that.
Is Ms. Kinney available?
Excuse me.
Ask any.
Excuse me. Ms. Turner-Sloss.
Yes, I'm just asking Ms. Kinney.
Do you have to be acknowledged by the chair? There was a conversation there.
That's fair.
Okay. That's fair?
Thank you.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so may I pose my
Go
question?
ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Mr. Paulette, for that information.
Sure.
Is Ms. Kinney available to provide a little bit more context? Is that fair?
Sure, yeah.
Thank you.
We can
Thank
ask
you, Your
Ms.
Honor.
Acting Director Keisha Kinney to the podium. I know she's had quite extensive work with Dr. Burrs and can attest to.
Hello, Commissioners and Mayor. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have about the contract extension.
I think Commissioner Fairchild had the question in terms of like what the 7 years of service.
Okay, so let me be clear. So you requested conversation so Mr. Fairchild can ask questions.
Yes. For Ms. Kenny,
Okay, Mr. Fairchild,
for additional.
you want to ask questions?
Sure. Well,
Okay. I just
So-
want to be sure.
well, thank you,
All
Chair.
right, thank you.
So Dr. Burrs has broken down silos. That sounds like something that's completed. What's the next outcome that we're looking for with Dr. Burrs?
So Dr. Burrs is also used for a lot of our executive coaching. As you know, the water department has had a lot of turnover in our upper management, myself included. So this is our way of preparing those next level of supervisors to move to those upper levels. This also gives us the opportunity to work with some of our bargaining unit staff that are not in supervisory positions to help them develop some of those soft skills to move into those supervisory positions. This is how we reinvest back into our staff, and we try to keep them here. And this reinvestment is by using Dr. Burrs' coaching skills.
Aren't those functions that are usually handled by leadership and HR?
No, this is something where we try to go out to give them that executive coaching. We do get some coaching from HR where they do give us supervisor toolbox training and whatnot, but these are some of those soft skills that we're trying to reinvest. And this is a large number of employees that we're putting back into the water department streamline of supervision. So I don't know if we've discussed with you guys before, but the water industry has something called a silver tsunami. And what that is that you're seeing a large number of water professionals are leaving the field as a whole. So what Dr. Burrs is helping us do is fill in those gaps, and that includes coaching people through getting higher level certifications. So in the water field, we have anything from a Class 1 to a Class 4. 3 and 4s are usually where we have those supervisors, and they have to do things like take tests that talk about supervision skills. If you're writing a Class 4, you have to talk about your ability to supervise staff, and Dr. Burrs helps with that.
Mr. Bartlett, that just raises more questions because I think like almost all our departments are facing a silver tsunami, including our police department. Are we providing this kind of coaching for other departments?
Dr. Burrs provides service in other areas. I wouldn't say that we're experiencing a silver tsunami in every department. And police, that was a 2-year phenomenon that has effectively ended. So I'm not sure what you're referring to. The work of Dr. Burrs within the water department specifically, the water department has probably the most elaborate and detailed and prescriptive succession plan of all of our departments. And Dr. Burrs' work throughout the levels of the organization is really important to continue that. As Ms. Kinney suggested, the most recent experience we had in turnover, but in preparing for the next 10 years in succession is really important.
At what point would we rebid this? Because we're paying a premium, like I think when we calculated it was $385 an hour for her services, which seems exorbitant for the services that you've described here.
I'm not sure that that's accurate, Commissioner.
What?
In terms of exorbitant, I'm not sure that that's accurate.
What?
It is a high price for sure, but the value that we can demonstrate well exceeds. I mentioned to you $40 to $50 million of grants that we received, and not large part, small part, but important part of the work with Dr. Burrs. So Commissioner, I'm not sure what issue you have with Dr. Burrs.
Commissioner, when we have a chance, we will have the opportunity to go over future contracts and deal with that to answer all the questions and to have the opportunity to look at what has happened based upon the time that she's been here working with different departments.
Yeah. Well, we got this contract on the calendar
Yeah,
today.
I understand that.
Right. So I was hoping to get some clarification to justify where we're paying $385 an hour. I don't see it yet and haven't heard it here.
Okay.
Well, I'm not sure what I could tell you to
Probably something
demonstrate.
more than the Parlet eyeball test, but
What's that?
I said probably more than the Parlet eyeball test.
That's cute.
So,
Okay.
Okay, thank
What,
you.
you can vote to support it or not.
I would ask to remove this item from the calendar so I can vote separately.
Okay, we'll do that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Shaw?
I'm
No,
trying
no,
to
no.
understand.
He wants to vote separately,
Vote separately on,
just this issue.
On the first contract.
I see, okay. Executive coaching, good thing.
Yes,
Helps strengthen the organization and provide you with skills and availability for growth in your organization to make sure that it's very strong moving forward. And we just talked about millions of dollars of grant money that you're able to accomplish with that. So executive coaching is a good thing. $385 an hour, that's not exorbitant. That's kind of what the standard rate is. $65,000 contract, wow, what a bargain. Who negotiated that great deal with the talented Dr. Burris? I think it's good. I think you should continue this, and we should hopefully, if she's available, we should have her dive deeper into the organization because she's such a talent. So anyway, having said that, I'll move on, and that's really all I had. This is just important. This money is well spent. So thank you for your leadership in that.
thank you.
Okay, I'll just add, and you can respond if you'd like to, it's not really, it's more of a statement than it is a question, that some years ago, I remember coming here on the City Commission, we made a decision about customer service, and we started internally. And we started internally and looking at ways that we can improve the relationship between departments and how we found the benefits were associated with some of the departments. Instead of going out to outside contractors, they worked together and they were able to do a lot of work a lot quicker and a lot better because they were very familiar with the types of things that need to be done. The aspect of looking at the water department was one of those. But we had results, if we look at some of our customer service surveys, by looking at how more cohesion was created among departments and among staff, and then that also paid off by having higher ratings based upon the customer service surveys that we did outside to the customers and to the citizens of Dayton. So again, I would just underscore the benefit that this city and the staff has received by virtue of that type of work. So thank you very much.
And going along with what Deputy Commissioner,
City
all these
manager.
City Manager, good, sorry.
But I know you're new to the position.
I'm trying to keep all these straight, but going along with what he said, this does break down those silos by having Dr. Burrs come in, and we do appreciate that work.
Correct. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Keisha.
Thanks.
Thank you,
All right,
Keisha.
thank you, everyone.
Okay. Ms. Parlett, anything else? You good?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, so before we vote, so let's vote separately on item number,
Item
Commissioner
2.
Fairchild. We get the number, item number?
It's the item number 2.
Mayor, I move that we adopt the city manager's recommendations with the exception of item 2, so we can vote on that separately.
Okay,
I'll second that.
okay. We probably moved and seconded to vote on the city manager's recommendations, except for item number 2. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye?
Aye.
All
Aye.
opposed? No? Okay, thank you. Now, we have a motion for item 2.
I move to accept city manager's recommendations, item 2.
Okay. Been probably moved and seconded.
It hadn't been seconded yet.
Okay. Your second?
Second, Your Honor.
Second? Okay. It's been probably moved and seconded to vote for item number 2. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say no.
No.
Okay. Thank you. Legislation, Ms. Blackshear.
There's no legislation, Mayor.
Okay. All right. So do we have any citizens who are registered to speak?
Mayor, we have 3 citizens who have registered. I would like to state that there is a 3-minute time limit. As you address this commission, we ask that you state your name and address for the record. At that time, I will turn on the green light. When the green light comes on, you will have 3 minutes to speak. After you have spoken 2.5 minutes, a yellow light will come on. You'll have 30 seconds remaining to speak. When the red light comes on, you will be asked to cease your comments and to take your seat. To the audience in attendance, please be mindful this is a business meeting And we kindly request that during this portion of the meeting, you refrain from any hand clapping, finger snapping, and conversations that would prevent the City Commission from hearing the speaker's comments. I call to the podium David Woods.
David Woods, 3230 Lakeview Avenue.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mayor and City Council meeting. I'm just complaining about the Chief of Police of Inglewood that he still has not talked to Christine McDonald, Civil Rights Commission, because he said that he never did tell Captain Perez of Ketterman Campus Hospital or Sergeant Mike Lane of the incident that they lied about. And Sergeant Michael Lane, who retired from Inglewood Police, said he never did tell him too. He said no one from the Inglewood Police ever told him that. So I feel that the Chief of Police of Inglewood is racist because he won't do that. I told the mayor about it. I asked the mayor, can she talk to the Civil Rights Commission, Christine McDonald, so she can talk to a pretty white woman that see my dad got choked in Kettering Hospital. The mayor of Inglewood still has not called Christine McDonald. And I called the mayor of Kettering, Ohio, and she still has not called Christine McDonald to have this white woman who witnessed my dad got choked. And there was a white man that witnessed it too, a chaplain who prayed for him. My dad got slapped and choked. And my dad's a preacher, and he served in the Vietnam War. And she still ain't called. So I asked the public, especially the black folks in Dayton, Ohio, to call Channel 2 News. Their number is 937-293-5121. And ask them to call the Chief of Police, Sergeant Corey Follett, and ask him to cooperate and call Christine McDonald and Sergeant Mike Lane. And also have the mayor of Inglewood call Christine McDonald. And also call the mayor, her number of Inglewood is 937-836-5106, and also call the mayor of Kettering, Ohio, 937-296-2416, and ask them to go ahead and talk to Christine McDonald since my dad got choked. And but them not cooperating, I feel that the city of Inglewood and Kettering, Ohio doesn't care about black folks. So I feel the only people who care about black folks is the mayor of Dayton, Ohio, and y'all, because I see y'all in our black churches, I see y'all in our black community caring, and I feel it's racism. Also, this, the Ohio State Medical Board is investigating Kettering Main Capital Hospital right now for why the doctors let the nurse choke my dad and they haven't put it on his medical report. And then I told my sister that he got choked, or tell me that my dad is dead because they didn't let me see his dead body. That was legal too. I stand for all that Martin Luther King and Malcolm X stand for the black race who has been disrespectful racism. I never really dealt with racism until now, my dad. And they're showing me that this is racism. I'm going to keep coming out here complaining about this because now I'm fighting for the black people, because this black guy downtown told me that when I speak, and I speak for the black nation, period, who has been disrespected. And there's a lot of good white people, too, because the white guy told the security guard about this. He said he's going to call Channel 2 News and let them know, too. He said that they did me wrong. And this black girl said that they're doing me wrong, too. So I'm letting you know I'm kind of like a fight for black folks from now on in, not just for my dad, but just for the black race, because now our race is in trouble. Like Dr. Reverend Henderson said on Corinthian Baptist Church, you better know your history. Because if you don't know your history will repeat. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you for your comments. He had a tendency to sound very similar to.
Yeah, good job. Good impersonation, yes.
Hello, everyone. My name is Darrell Lee. Excuse me.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Darrell Lee, 1903 East 3rd, Dayton, Ohio. I'm complaining about my life here in the city of Dayton and my kids' life in the city of Dayton. Well, I agree with that man there. It's some white folks, it's some black folks. But I think here, the mayor here of Dayton, not really doing his job. The Dayton police not doing his job. If the U.S. citizens of the county jail, the public places, anywhere in Dayton, sheriff departments, anywhere can vote that Darrell Lee is a good man and everyone deserves a second chance. Now, let's go back to this. Why would I not fight for my kids? Why would I wait 30 days not to fight for my kids? Now, let's go back to the laws that the mayor or whoever make in Dayton or Montgomery County. Why do they do not follow their own laws provided by the government? Even the Dayton police, Montgomery County Prison Services, anywhere. I just want to know why is that? And U.S. citizens like us black take up for ourselves, which the community and people, other people see, witness, take up for us, but by y'all laws, we still get punished. But why do the fire department don't get a ticket for turning on the no red sign right there on Main and Monument? Why they don't follow the rules and don't get tickets either? Why we always got to follow the rules? Because we black?
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you for your
Lee.
comments.
Dan Barton. Name and address for the record.
Dan Barton, 338 Central Avenue, Dayton, Ohio, Grafton Hill Historic District.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning. I'm here to follow up on a long conversation that we've been having about Plan Development 179 in Dayton, Ohio. This involves the apartment building at 633, 645 Grand Avenue. This goes back to 2019 when the building had been used as an aparttel, had been condemned for fire hazards by the city of Dayton, and at city expense, all of the residents had been moved out. The damage to the building was extensive because of improper superheating of units with a propane heating source. The prior owner had a bed bug infection while he was running it as a hotel and was trying to solve the bed bug problem by disabling the fire suppression and fire alarm system. The technique was so disastrously unsuccessful that it actually melted wiring within the units that it was applied, and the city inspector correctly came in and condemned the building. That started a process whereby the building lost its zoning variance, which goes back to the late 60s during the era of redlining. Very high density buildings, very low amenities, etc. In Grafton Hill, we've been working for decades now, trying to rectify and undo some of those huge variances that allowed buildings to be developed that were not attractive to most folks. In this instance, the building was eventually donated to a church, and the Chinese ownership group donated that, took a write-off. The church group then sold it to an investor out of Australia, Mr. David Limburg, who undertook the rehabilitation of the building, and we began working with Mr. Limburg to rectify the long-term situation. Too many small units, too few parking spaces, no green space, no amenities. In working through that, it was a difficult process. But Planning Director Todd Kinski and I basically had a series of conversations, and he came down on the side of, it's really important that this thing get reopened. And my yellow light is on, so I'm going to have to really zoom ahead. The public process played out. We agreed on terms, but at the time of the publication of the final ordinance, different terms were inserted at the very end, and the whole process was voided. And I'm asking that this be revisited.
Thank you, Mr. Burton. Barton, excuse me.
I have also...
Thank you, Mr. Martin. Please stay at the meeting, and we'll make sure we have your contact.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That is all the citizens who have registered.
Okay. Mr. Parlett, do you have any closing comments?
I have none, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Blackshear, any closing comments?
Have none, Your Honor.
Okay. Commissioner Turner-Sloss, any closing comments?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Just would like to, again, thank Mr. Dongle for all of his leadership and for the presentation this morning. Thank you again, and Mr. Daniels and the entire staff. A couple of points brought to you all by Ms. Reed. There is, in fact, a community cleanup at Stewart Patterson Park this Saturday, June the 28th. Can't believe we're rolling into July already. Be here before you know it. From 10 a.m. to noon, and then they will also have pizza for lunch, and it's an opportunity for neighbors to meet one another as well as to beautify Old North Dayton. And then, again, thank you, Ms. Reed, for providing this information. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Ms. Jackson. The city and the fire department, there will, in fact, be operating the cooling stations or the cooling options, with temperatures over 90 degrees expected for the remainder of this week, although I think we're supposed to get some rain on tomorrow. But nonetheless, the 3 recreation centers are, in fact, open Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. The Greater Dayton Recreation Center, which is 2021 West 3rd Street, Lowry Recreation Center, which is 2366 Glenarm, and of course, the Northwest Recreation Center, which is located at 1600 Princeton Avenue. So thank you, Ms. Reed, for providing the various highlights, if you will. And Mr. Woods, thank you for your comments. Thank you for being here. Mr. Lee, Mr. Barton, thank you for your comments as well. Mr. Pilot, if we could get some additional information to see if in fact there's the process to address Mr. Barton's concerns to revisit the planning decisions for 633, 635, I believe, Grand Avenue.
Yes, Mr. Gondola is still in the room, and I made...
Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate that. And then I just wanted to make mention as well. Thank you, Mr. Parlett and Ms. Kinney. Thank you very much for providing additional context as it relates to calendar item number 2 and the succession planning and executive coach contract. I really appreciate Ms. McKinney providing that. Ms. McKinney, I keep changing your last name. Ms. Kenny, thank you for providing that additional
We know who you're talking about.
Thank
Gotcha.
you. I really appreciate you providing that additional context, because I do know there's a specialized skill set and there's a number of things that go along, and to your point, that the field is going through a number of changes itself, so thank you. But I do want to make mention to this. There was an accusation that was made that there was an issue with the Dr. Burrs or the service contract for executive coaching. I think that is farthest from the truth. I think our role as members of the selective body is for one, fiduciary responsibility, and for us to be mindful about the budget. And so posing questions and asking questions, that is a part of our duty and our job. So again, I don't think by no means, matter of fact, I know by no means there is no claim or any issue with the executive coaching contract itself. It's just having a better understanding. So I would just ask that we operate a little bit more grace and professionalism in providing that information. So I really do appreciate Ms. Kinney as well as Mr. Parlett providing that information. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Fairchild.
Yeah, I want to thank the city administration, Director Gil Turner, for the great air show again, and particularly given the heat, and all of our first responders who are out there and all their gear, taking care of people in the midst of all that heat. I know we had some heat stroke occasions out there, and so for our first responders to be caring for all of those who are there in the midst of that heat, I appreciate that. So thank you for the air show. Want to encourage people to come out this weekend. MJ the Musicals at
Schuster.
At the Schuster, thank you. We got concerts at the Levitt, including the Blues Fest. We got the Dragons in town at the first of the week. Next Thursday will be fireworks, so make your plans now to come out to watch the fireworks. And on Sunday is the Wright Dunbar Days from 2 to 7. And thanks to Ty Winston and her promoting of Wright Dunbar. So lots of opportunities to come out and be involved in our community.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Shaw.
Yeah, well, I'm really excited about this. I'm proud to have led the effort several years ago, alongside many great partners, to help bring the Dayton Convention Center transformation to life, and really excited about this. If you haven't been over there to take a look at the Convention Center, you really should. It's something to see. As co-chair of the task force that laid the groundwork for this $45 million revitalization, it's exciting to now invite the community to see the results of that work. So please join us for the Community Open House on Friday, June 27th from 3 to 7 at the Convention Center. We'll enjoy a ribbon cutting, tours, music, and family fun as we celebrate this new chapter in downtown Dayton. It's really excited to see that.
Okay. So first of all, let me just say, Commissioner Shaw, you took my thunder. I was going to say all those things about you, about the great work that you did with the committee. That was a lot of hard work, and we were very, I think, probably one of the few large cities instead of Ohio that still own their own convention center. Right. And there are a lot of things that were happening, or not happening, I should say, because of that process, trying to run a city, trying to run the convention center as well. I guess one of our closer examples of something that has been done a lot that was more beneficial as far as the citizens were concerned, as well as generating more and more conventions to come to the city of Dayton, was looking at Columbus. And I think that was one of the group of consultants that you guys work with as well in the county and other members of this community. A lot of great work there. If you've not been down to the convention center in recent times, please go back and take a look, but definitely try to come and see what's happening on this coming Friday. Additionally, I just wanted to reiterate, again, a comment that was made as far as the air show. Very hot. It was not that bad early Saturday morning when I was there with the kickoff. But the aspect of all the great things that were happening there in the space and seeing some of the great individuals who were doing so much in the sky, things that people can't do as well, sometimes even on the ground, but just great activity with the pilots and Thunderbirds doing their work in terms of that space as well. And again, it was already mentioned about the MJ, the musical. I'm going to try to get there, try to take my granddaughter as one of her favorite, artists for her birthday, which is tomorrow. So my granddaughter's 17th birthday is tomorrow. So Chase, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
I will not sing publicly. I will sing to you in person. Okay. Love and peace for all, hatred for none, no further business to come before this commission. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.